Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. First off, let me apologize. I know it's been a little while since I had a live video, kind of a live public video, reviewing some trades with you. I think the last one we did, we had like 14 out of 15 winning trades overall, 1,700 pips give or take. Beautiful kind of perfect setups that just worked all miraculously in our favor, right? Not miraculously, we had to wait until after obviously the big news, but it was just really good timing. With that said, I'm not going to review the trades we looked at a couple of weeks ago, primarily because those have already played out. The length of time has kind of passed by too long on the history of the charts. But tonight, what we're going to do is really quickly just go over a couple of the setups that are happening, some things to look out for, obviously. We know that we're coming into the December month, meaning, volume is going to be slowing down. So make sure you're protecting a little bit sooner than you typically would. Maybe going a little bit less on your risk because there's not going to be as much volume and kind of money moving at this time of year. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get over there. Obviously, I have to first, start with the disclaimer that says this is recorded. Well, you guys know that, although it's not a live call. But nothing we discuss tonight is going to be considered financial, legal, or investing advice. Please note, I practice high risk, high reward trading. You can follow similar steps with safer, lower risk, lower reward trading styles, strategies, percentages, brokers, leverage, lot sizes, and well, everything else. So obviously, if you like this sort of content, and as things hopefully settle down, I want to start doing some different strategies and some different ideologies of how to manage, how to enter, how to scale out, and just how to kind of be a better trader, how to find that financial freedom from home. And hopefully I'll get to the point where I'm putting out that content and we're able to kind of edit videos, at least in a semi-professional manner. Because as you guys know, I'm just a trader. I'm not, by any means a YouTuber. So, there's our risk disclaimer. Actually, before I pop over to the chart, I want to show this. We've actually been kind of keeping pretty good track of what we've been doing on those live calls since approximately June of this year. Remember, these are only done about once every other week. It's supposed to be the first and third Tuesday of the month. In this time, in very, very few, so you got to think like 14 classes, give or take, 14 times, 20 minutes at a time, we've been able to profit over 14,000 pips live. And this is not even using indices. This is not even going for the high risk, kind of super aggressive, super fast moving pairs. This is only using a very simple to follow, very simple to read, simplicity system. You don't even have to have a lot of market knowledge. You just need a little bit of some basic rules and some basic management to be able to get a system like simplicity or really any other strategy and say, here's how I enter, here's how I manage, here's what I'm going to do. So not bad. That was the week we had. I didn't go live there, but now let's go ahead and look at the charts of things we have setting up right now. Okay, so first and foremost, as you guys can see, I've got a couple of pairs highlighted on my Swiss Army knife down here. They're just pairs that I'm looking at for right now using this system on this time frame. Not to say there's not a plethora of other moves on other time frames, either scalps, kind of shorter term trades, and or longer term kind of trends. This is just meant to be using a single time frame to kind of be able to come and take an entry, manage with some sense of consistency, and then be able to kind of go on with your week. The whole concept I'm going for with this is less stress, less overanalysis, less stuck in your head, but I don't know this, or I don't understand Wix. More just simple kind of investing and trading. That's it. So as you can see, we've got GU up here on the 1 hour time frame. We actually talked about this trade a little bit in this morning's scalping call. Still, I think it's a great potential buy. It's not ready right now. So how I would be trading this is I'd be waiting for a break of either this area or this fractal. Obviously, we're protecting at about 50% of the ADR or 1 ATR, depending on, how you're managing your trades. And if you don't know that kind of stuff, then you're protecting after 50 pips. That means you're either trimming some of your profit, dragging your stop into profit, applying a trailing stop. But in theory, you're protecting the bag, right? You're not going to just let it run forever. Stop loss is below structure with some room. And if I zoom out a little bit, you can see, let me get my crosshairs. I'm looking for a target of at least kind of that 59-ish pips all the way up to approximately 180. So what I'm looking to see is this breakout, retest, continuation. Definitely have a lot of confluence that says we can totally get all the pips we need out of here. So from where price is currently at, to where prices stopped before, you still got 116 pips away. So plenty of room. Mind you, it is December. In theory, the volume is supposed to be going down, aside from COVID and all the crazy stuff with the US dollar. And of course, Brexit is in the news again. So be mindful of the fundamentals and the time of year. Maybe trade a little bit smaller lot size or protect a little bit sooner. You can totally get out of these trades, after 25 pips or 30 pips instead. Totally up to you. My entries are still the same. I'm either waiting on a break of the fractal or the break of this kind of structure line that's part of the Super EZ Simplicity system. That's those dots right here. All that is structure. Nothing too fancy. So, NZD/USD. First thing I'm going to point out is we don't have a buy signal just yet on Simplicity. We do, however, have a beautiful double bottom, right? So as soon as this breaks this fractal area, okay, we're going to be looking for a potential signal on Simplicity. Or of course, if we do break out past this fractal area, I'm looking for this buy up. How many pips I'm going for? First, I'm going for a measured move. So if I measure both sides of the double bottom, you're looking at 80 to 90 pips, which means my major target is going to be kind of coming over here to find some structure in and around 0.691, anywhere in that kind of window is where the major target's going to be if you're going for the major move or the kind of measured move. Obviously, you're protecting. One ADR on this for the last 5 days is about 45 pips, so you should be protected at that point, right? Stop loss below structure with a little bit of extra room in case this does pop down and leave a spring, especially on a reversal system or reversal trade. You have to give these trades more room. If you need a tighter stop, you can't trade this way, so choose a different system. So, silver, same thing. We don't have a Simplicity signal just yet. Huge impulse move. We retested off pretty hard. This does have a lot of confluence on the bigger time frames as well. We don't have the confirmation just yet. You can take this earlier entry at the break of the fractal, which is what I will do based off of bigger time frame confirmations. Or of course, you can wait until we actually break the neckline of this double bottom formation all the way from here to here. My entry will be here. Stop loss is going to be fairly big on this, and remember, this is not worth the same as other pairs per pip. So make sure you're testing the waters. Don't just take a trade willy-nilly, not knowing exactly how much it's worth. Please get comfortable with it. It does trade differently than other Forex pairs and even gold. So let's count out some pips on this. First off, notice the ADR is about 44 for the smallest number. So from the break of that fractal, you're still looking approximately here to where structure is. Overall, I'm going for a really good 125 pips and beyond. So 125 pips is my minimal target. Definitely great risk to reward on this. Really, really easy. Should have the fundamentals that kind of back it up, being the time of year. No guarantees. You guys know the drill. So, odd JPY. I'm a little hesitant on this one because this is definitely a bigger play on a bigger move. Think impulse, correction, continuation. So if we take this sell, we're only taking the correction. We're only taking it for a very small amount of pips, and that's it. We're not looking for the gold. Also notice we have potential head and shoulders to continue the buy. We haven't got the breakout for the buy yet though. So with that in mind, what I'm looking to see happen is if we do break below this fractal, we have a sell signal, 1 hour time frame, odd JPY. I'm looking for approximately from the break, from price to retest down to where it broke out. You're looking anywhere from 130 to about 56 pips, 56 to 130 pips. Definitely not a bad way to be. Really, really easy pips here. I would totally protect the trade though, because it is a continuation that we're trying to trade within 20 to 25 pips. So this is protected. My bag is protected. I'm not worried about what happens beyond that. Obviously, within our groups, we use several forms of management, including an EA. That's a really smart EA, so it'll kind of scale you out and protect you, kind of all done automatically. But GBP odd, we also looked at in class. It's already moved quite a bit from this morning, but still hanging out for the most part. We have a buy signal. We did kind of break above, of course, retested, failed to make a higher high, retested again, and now we're here. We just broke through that fractal level. I'm looking to bring this all the way up for about 135 pips, again, protecting after about 50, making sure I've got that super, super safe, right? And if I go up some time frames, you know that this one also has a little bit more room even beyond that. So definitely some room to come all the way up from where price is currently at. Really easy 150, 160 pips, but for now, We're just looking to catch some of this continuation, and because it's a faster moving pair, it's really easy to catch the pips you need, and then it can by all means continue whichever direction it wants to go. Set GBP on. You'll notice that several of these pairs are the same currency. That's something that we talk about often, is you can't take all the GBP pairs. So there's 4 of them for tonight. I would pick 1 to 2. You can't possibly take them all unless you're only taking like a 1% risk per trade. If you're taking any more than that, definitely stick with 1 to 2, trades per currency, because you don't want to be over leveraged per currency, right? I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This is JBP Chef, 1 hour time frame. Same thing, we've got a buy signal. We've got multiple formations in here depending on who you ask. You've got a head and shoulders kind of deformed. You've got multiple double bottoms. You've got that crown formation for those people who want to call it, as well as a harmonic pattern. So all of that confluence is saying, hey, we've got some room to buy this up. Mind you, the Swiss franc is a safe haven currency, so it can do a whole bunch of willy-nilly things if it chooses. But I'm a technical analysis trader, so I focus mostly on that. At the break of this fractal on the 1 hour time frame, so that's 1.22335, your first target is going to be an easy 128 pips all the way up to approximately 200 is my target. That's where my final take profit is on this one. But great setup. Remember, you're protecting pretty quickly because of the time of the year. Period. End of story. Stop loss is below structure with some room. GBP, JPY, same thing. We've got a buy signal, tons of formations depending on who you want to ask. You've got that crown, you've got the double bottoms, it's failing to make lower lows. Several springs, several big wicks, and now of course we're waiting for this to buy up, as well as kind of in correlation with some of the other JPY pairs. So same kind of concept. We've got our signal, we've got our consolidation, right? Now we're waiting for the break of this fractal. Once we get that, our first target is going to kind of be in between, 50 to 73 pips in between here. And of course, I'm going for about 180 pips in general. Probably getting out of this within 186, not holding it much more than that, because that's where price broke out before. So really simple. I think this has approximately 1,200 to 1,300 pips on the table. That's not bad at all for, what is that, 7 pairs? 7 pairs, maybe 20 minutes of our time to analyze. That's it. And obviously this isn't the only strategy I use. I have a couple of others that we go over in morning classes, but just a really easy kind of fun evening thing to do, maybe a couple times a month. I don't do so too often, but yeah. If you have any questions about these setups or future pairs that you want me to maybe consider doing regularly, by all means put that in the comments. I hope that this video helps a little bit. I hope you guys have a great day. Take care and God bless.